Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I deal with acid reflux, living with acid reflux, my condition and all that jazz. So I have had acid reflux since I was 16 and I really struggled to find resources and information online on how to deal with it, mostly because it is a condition that's not really black and white. I don't think there's many videos on the internet that really explain the lifestyle changes and different things that you can do. So I'm still struggling to this day to find information and kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. So if these tips and tricks can help at least one of you, then, you know, that's amazing, and that's why I'm putting this video out there. I'll be dividing the video into 3 parts. I will be talking about food, habits and stress. I will leave little timestamps down below so you can click on whichever part you want, but I would love for you to watch them all. If there are any questions that you have throughout the video, please do leave them in the comments down below. Or if you don't really want to comment and you want to have a private conversation, I will leave my Instagram. You can DM me on there and we can have a conversation. I am still struggling with this condition, so if you have other tips that are helping you, then please do leave them in the comments down below, because it will help me and it will help other people. I do want to say as a disclaimer that I am not a GP, I am not professional, so if you do think that you have this condition, then do consult a GP. You can discuss with them lifestyle changes and medication and all that sort of stuff. I will leave some NHS links down below, so if you do think that you're struggling, I can kind of go check. So I do want to say that obviously these are things that have worked for me. That doesn't necessarily mean that they will work for you. Acid reflux is one of those conditions where everyone has different triggers and everyone has different ways of dealing with it. These are the ways that I deal with my condition, and maybe you could try them out and see if it helps yours. It's not black and white, unfortunately, which is why I wanted to do this video. I personally don't think there's enough information out there, and there is quite a good percentage of people that do suffer with it, whether it be milder form or in a more extreme form. So I got diagnosed at 16, so I lived in Italy at this point, to give you kind of an insight, because I think, different countries, they might deal with this condition in different ways. I am currently under a UK doctor because that's where I live now, but at the start I was in Italy. So I got diagnosed because I had a really dry cough, and I also had the feeling that I constantly had something stuck in my throat. So my mum decided to take me to the doctor, and the doctor said that he wanted me to have an endoscopy to kind of check for acid reflux. So I had my endoscopy and he was right, that's what I got diagnosed with esophagitis and gastritis. So gastritis is an inflammation of the lining of the stomach, and esophagitis is inflammation of the lining of the esophagus, which is caused by acid reflux, because obviously the acid keeps coming up and eroding your esophagus. As I came out, again this is in Italy, the doctor just gave me a long list of foods. He said, cut these out and you'll feel better. And when I say the list felt endless, for a 16-year-old it was quite daunting, because it had stuff, it had alcohol. I hadn't even drank alcohol properly at that point. Chocolate, fried fruits, spicy food, all my favourite food at the time, and it made me want to be like, well, I'd rather just keep my condition, because at that point it wasn't really that bad. There were certain foods that triggered it, which, as I will explain later, I quickly removed, but other than that it wasn't at a point where I really needed to make that many lifestyle changes. And that was really bad, because that meant that a couple of years later the condition would get worse. So a couple of years later the condition got worse. I had a really bad flare-up of my acid reflux. I had another endoscopy, same thing, same list. And at that point I thought, right, I think it's time to actually start making some changes. So the first section of the video will be food. The first thing that I would suggest is to get rid of anything that causes you immediate pain. So any triggers that instantly cause you, that acid reflux, stomach ache. I will pop up on the screen or in the description my personal triggers if you want to try them to see if those will be yours. Unfortunately, everyone has different triggers. Something that might trigger me might not trigger you, so it's a question of trying different things, cutting things out, At the start, I would suggest keeping a food diary, which I know is a lot. I didn't really do it for long. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say I did it. I didn't do it for long, but that's definitely something I would suggest. So keep a food diary, but the first tip would be to just get rid of anything that causes imminent pain. But tip number 2 in this section is that once you've done that, then you want to slowly start to figure out what other foods causing you a pain, bloatedness, and you know, are worsening your condition. So the way I did this is I removed food groups. So I removed gluten, then I removed lactose, and so forth and so on. See how my body reacts to it. Another way of doing it, I also got suggested, was just get rid of everything, sort of like, you know, get rid of gluten, lactose, meat, all of that, and then slowly introduce it to see which one actually triggers you. Whichever way you want to do it, it's all about what works best for you. I am still getting rid of stuff and putting it back in to kind of see what triggers, because I have found also with the years some foods have become a trigger and others haven't. So it is also a case of just constantly being aware of the foods that you put in your body. One thing that I would say is please do not eat processed foods. That is the worst. If you do want to treat yourself or eat something that you know potentially will cause you acid reflux, make it at home. No takeaways. Processed foods are the worst, and they are the main thing that you really want to cut out. If there's anything that you take from this video, is no processed food. Start making food at home that you like, and it'll actually probably save you money in the long run, so it's a good thing to do anyway. Number 3 is if you know that you're going to go to an event, a dinner, and you know you're going to have a week or so of eating a bit unhealthily, then what I would do is a couple weeks before really stick to a plain simple diet. So reset your stomach, so then when you do eat bad, you don't get as much pain as you would if you keep, you know, eating loads of bad foods one after the other. Not that there's any parties or events going on now.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
Ideally, you do want to get to a point where you've cut all the bad foods that you're not really supposed to eat out, but it is a slow process, and it is the case of if there is a food that you really don't want to cut out, at least eating alternatives. So for example, chocolate is a big one for me. I love chocolate, still haven't gotten rid of chocolate. It seems impossible to me. I've tried to find alternatives. The problem with chocolate when you've got acid reflux, it's not really an alternative. You can't have the, you know, lactose-free option or the gluten-free option. Like, it doesn't really work like that. What I would suggest, if you do really like chocolate, you don't want to get rid of it, is having dark chocolate, which is a little less acidic. The rule, I think, is kind of the more sugary the chocolate, the more it's going to affect your acid reflux. So that's what I've done. I've switched to dark chocolate, but chocolate is definitely something that you do need to remove. The other thing is, you know, there's something that you like and in a restaurant it's made fried, then maybe cook it at home, make it baked instead at home, and that will considerably lessen the pain. Alcohol, cut it down, like just cut it down. If you are going to have alcohol, there are certain types that are less acidic than others. I will try to leave some links down below. Some people are triggered by different things, like white wine triggers me, red wine doesn't. I don't know if that makes sense. Coffee's another one. So ideally you should really cut coffee out. I'm a big coffee drinker, a big coffee drinker. When I lived in Italy, we had coffees at midnight, like it's just what we do here. When you go out with your mate, you go for a coffee. So that was really hard for me, and I definitely didn't cut it out until maybe a year ago. I moved to decaf to start off with, and now I've completely gone off coffee. Like, I will have a coffee now and again because I just like the taste of it, but I've kind of weaned myself off the caffeine slowly by going first to decaf and then to like none at all. It is a slow process. You're not going to go from eating your favourite food to just cutting them all out. It's all about building habits and slowly removing foods. So that leads me to section number 2, which is habits. So these are a few habits that I have acquired throughout the years that really do help my acid reflux. So my first habit is do not lie down after you've eaten. Now, I don't think I've ever done this, even before I got diagnosed with acid reflux, because we always eat quite early in my family, so we eat about 6, 7, so that gave me kind of a 3-hour gap before going to bed. But, you know, there are times when I have a big meal and I just want to lie down and I've got to stop myself. After you've eaten, sit in a chair. Do not lie down. Don't even like lay back on a sofa, because that will trigger your acid reflux. Ideally, 3 to 4 hours you should wait before going to bed after you've eaten. If you do want to do less, again, it's all personal preference. Sometimes I've left it 2 hours and I was fine. Sometimes I've left it 2 hours and I woke up and I was in so much pain. It also depends on how heavy your meal is. If you're having a small meal, then obviously it won't be as long. Which leads me to my second habit, which is eat small meals but frequently. So this is again something that I've kind of always done. I don't have a very big stomach, so I've never eaten, you know, 3 big meals a day. I have a small breakfast, then I have a mid-morning snack, then I have lunch, then I have an afternoon snack, and then I have dinner. So that has helped, because when your body's got less food to kind of digest and it's got less acid to produce. Next habit, which this is actually not a habit that I do, so I don't know why I'm telling you this, because it's not my personal habit, but it's something that has been ingrained to me by every doctor, so I'm going to tell you and hopefully you will do it, and that is to lift your bed. You want to incline your bed. It really helps with the acid reflux. You shouldn't put extra pillows up, because that just worsens it. Apparently it is actually the bed that needs to be like lifted up. So another thing that I have found that's personal to me is going to bed on an empty stomach. So if I start to get hungry, I need to eat straight away, because if I leave it, I get really bad acid reflux pains. There's times where I've gone to bed on an empty stomach and I got woken up in atrocious pain in the middle of the night because it just really hurt. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that's something that happens because I've got acid reflux, or it's just normal that you just, you know, if you don't eat, you get this really bad pain. But it is an acid reflux pain that I feel. Another habit, which actually my mum told me because a nurse told her this when she was younger, and it is, do not drink coffee on an empty stomach. Never drink coffee on an empty stomach. Always eat something before you drink coffee if you've got acid reflux, because it's effectively like putting alcohol on a fire. I did it once. I had coffee on an empty stomach and I was ill all day. Just don't do it. Always eat something, whether it be a biscuit, croissant, you know, that helps me. As I said, you know, you might be able to drink coffee on an empty stomach and be fine, but if you do suffer with acid reflux, I definitely do suggest to do that. Another habit that is quite hard, because I really like wearing crop tops and, you know, high-waisted skirts, high-waisted jeans, is do not wear tight clothing around your stomach / esophagus area. So when it comes to things like sports bras, I have to be very careful because some of them do cut and like cause me really bad pain. Bras or bralettes to be a bit looser fitting. Same with tops. You know, that's something that I did find online, and you know, I do find that it does really make a difference. This is not really a habit, but it's something that I don't do anymore, and it's abs exercises. So ab exercises really hurt my stomach. It makes sense because, you know, the way some ab exercises are, you do kind of push into your esophagus and your stomach and it tends to hurt, so I don't really do abs exercises anymore. If you do really want to train abs, I'm sure there are some exercises that are acid reflux friendly. If anyone knows them, please do put them in the comments down below for everyone else, but personally I've just stopped doing them. I'm not really that bothered about having abs, so I've cut them out. So another habit, which I actually got told by a doctor, but when I Google it, you know, some sites say do this, it helps, some site says this is a myth, don't do it, but it's having a glass of water with some like lemon juice in it in the morning. This really does help me. So first thing, I wake up, I take my medication, I have a glass with some lemon juice, and then I go for a walk, and then by the time I come back I'm ready for breakfast. The doctor told me basically to do it on an empty stomach, and that it really helps lower the acidity level because it kind of balances it out. I don't really know the science to it, but that is a habit that I do regularly. So part number 3 is stress. So yeah, I'm not really one to talk on this because I get really stressed and wound up and anxious about stuff, and it really affects my acid reflux. And my mum always says, you know, calm, there's no point in worrying, you know, just chill. But I'm not a chill person. I don't chill, I get stressed, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Actually, that's quite negative. I am doing things to help it change. If you're a stressful, anxious person, it does really affect and worsen acid reflux, and you know, gastritis and all that. I downloaded Headspace. I like to do some meditation or just listen to music to kind of calm myself down. You really should be making lifestyle changes to lower your stress levels. I'm still working on it. I notice that every time I do stress and worry, I just get the worst stomach ache. I remember during A-levels, or you know, when I was doing my degree, during exam periods, I did kind of have a lot of pain, a lot of tension in my stomach. So finding ways of releasing that tension, having some TLC, finding your way of relaxing is extremely important in this condition. Don't forget that, like, you definitely do have to take care of your mental health as well, because it is all like connected. I will try and see if I can link some pages on the NHS down below where they talk about this, but it's definitely something that you should look into and kind of sort out, because getting rid of all the food and doing all that jazz but not working on your mental health and your anxiety and your stress won't help the condition, unfortunately, which is, you know, what my doctor said to me. It all works in symbiosis. You can't do one without the other. That is it for my video today. I did want to end by saying that, you know, having this condition is hard. You're not going to figure it out straight away, and that is okay. After 7 years, I'm still struggling. I still have foods that I can't get rid of because I love. I still haven't found alternatives to everything. It is a learning curve, and hopefully this video helps someone and someone gains a new habit. I know I'm constantly on the lookout for acid reflux videos, but you know, just remember that everyone slips up. I still slip up. I still make mistakes when it comes to my food. I still eat things that I shouldn't, and then just take a Gaviscon to make myself feel better. It's all about building habits. There's the 21-90 rule. Do let me know if it's not an actual rule, but it says if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit, and if you do something for 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle change. Again, not sure if that's right. Do let me know if that's not right. I'm sure someone will. But it's all about building up these habits, and then eventually they will become a lifestyle change. And again, I cannot stress, it is about what works for you. I am definitely really bad at just Googling. I really want someone to tell me, eat this and you'll be okay. But you have to understand that that's not how it works with this condition. You've got to understand what works for you. Try different things, and no one else can tell you but you. If you do have this condition, please do go talk to your GP, because they can go through your history and tell you exactly what lifestyle changes you can do. And I know my GP's been amazing and has really helped me through my condition. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you want more videos like this, or if you want me to talk about anything else regarding this subject. And please subscribe if you want to join the It's Nat family. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!